there, Star Wars collectors, and welcome to another Bossk's Bounty video, and welcome to my review of the Star Wars The Vintage Collection R5-D4 from The Mandalorian. Now, this is the final figure that I do have to review from the most recent wave of the Vintage Collection. I'm pretty sure about that anyway. All the other reviews are on the channel already, so be sure to check those out after you've watched this video. And if you do happen to enjoy this video, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and all that jazz. So let's take a look at the card back. As you will see, I do have the original release of R5-D4 standing next to him because the R5-D4 from the original Star Wars movie, this is one of my favourite, if not my favourite card back from the whole of the Vintage Collection. Of course, it is the same card back used for the original R5-D4 way back in the original Kenner run. And the reason I love it is it's just an amazing classic image. You've got loads going on there. You've got Luke and some Jawas in there as well. And it's just a beautiful image, this one. As I say, it's one of my favourites. And the figure inside there is 99% identical to this one here. The only thing different about the new one is that it's got some extra paint apps on the back, which we will check out in a second. I will compare both figures together out of the packaging, so we don't need to worry about that. So this one originally was VC303, and the new edition, or the new release, is VC303. And there you can see, there's the card back on the back with the Vintage Collection. A little bit of a write-up about R5-D4. I really did like R5-D4 in The Mandalorian. He had loads of character about him. And I do like the way they sort of go back and use these characters that maybe didn't have a huge role in the original film or anything like that. But, you know, then they bring them to life a little bit more further on down the line. And that's definitely down to, you know, Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. They know what they're doing, basically. And it's probably got something to do with the toys as well, because they were a big fan of the toys back in the day. R5-D4 is one of the characters that I didn't have as a kid, actually. I always thought he was like a bit of a rip-off R2-D2 for some reason. I never had that one as a kid, but glad to have him in the modern Vintage Collection. And, you know, I'm liking the card back. Not too much going on there. It just represents the character pretty well. There we go. Alright then, so let's take a look at the figure out of the package. Alright then, so here is R5-D4 out of the packaging next to the original one, and out of the package it is a little bit difficult to tell which one is the new one versus the old one, but they are the same mould. They're both the Build-A-Droid figures. You are able to remove the headpiece of both of them, and they both are able to fit onto the N1 Starfighter, which is of course, you know, a scene from the Mandalorian Season 3. But looking at them here, it is difficult to tell which one is which. I can tell you the one on the left is the new one and the one on the right is the original. Now, it's very easy when you look at the back, because something that they have improved is we now have the 3 red stripes on the back of the figure. You can see there, and that is true to the character in the film. So they've done that this time. He was missing them from the original there. But also something that I have noticed that they've done with this particular R5 is that they've filled in the holes on the side of the body. So if we just turn them around here, you will see that the original has this hole in the sculpt there, and this one they filled it in. Now, I do believe that you can get another version of R5-D4 in the Vintage Collection, and that is the version that came in that 3-pack of like astromechs or droids or whatever. Now, that one is a slightly different sculpt. I don't think it's a Build-A-Droid, and I don't think it has the hole there. So when this figure was originally revealed not so long ago, a lot of people thought that that was the R5-D4 that we're going to be getting because it didn't have the holes on the body. But I think all they've done is basically fill it up there. So that's a good thing because, you know, that hole just looks a bit weird, doesn't it? So apart from that, the paint apps are very, very similar. I would say the original version has a little bit more weathering on it. They've put a little bit more dirt and grime on him, especially on the headpiece and on the top of the shoulder. You can just see on the top of the shoulder there is a different colour to this one here. You know, this one's just a little bit more clean, basically. And also the silver accents on the head there, they are a much lighter silver than this one here. So there are some subtle differences with the paint apps, but nothing too crazy. So if you've got the original one, you don't really need this new version, except for the fact that it's got those 3 red stripes on the back, which is a pretty big deal because that is accurate to the you know, the character from the film, which is pretty cool. Taking a look at him close up here, you can see just some of the paint apps there. You can just see some of that weathering on that headpiece there, and he's got his little antenna You want to be careful with that doesn't snap off. And of course the head turns, the legs move like so, and he also has the hinge at the foot there. There's that sort of hole filled in. And yeah, R5-D4, he's just cool, isn't he? You've got those red stripes on the back. And just to show you that if you do remove the head, it is the Builder Droid sculpt. And there's the pin there inside the head, and obviously that can fit onto the back of the N1, which is brilliant. So there you go then, guys. That is R5-D4. Not too much to say really about the figure. You know, it's a pretty old sculpt these days, isn't it, that they're using, these Builder Droid ones. But of course they needed to do that really so that headpiece fits onto the N1, and it does enable you to put any other figure that uses the Builder Droid heads onto that N1 if you so wished. Also, the middle leg does remove as well, like so. So you can have him standing there like that, or you can have the middle leg in and have him sort of, you know, rolling around like so. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Are you going to even bother getting this version because it's so similar to the original release? Are you happy with the original release? Will that do you? Are you a carded collector and you have to have this one to go with all the others? Let me know in the comment section below. I want to thank you all for watching this video, and thank you to my Patreon supporters and channel members. Your support means a great deal to me as always, so thank you so much. And we shall see you on the next one.